Hi there, my name's Radhagita and this class is for carers. It's an energising and grounding yoga class. So yeah, if you've got a yoga mat, do get it. If you don't have a yoga mat, maybe just get a blanket. You could sit on a folded blanket. Maybe some blocks if you have some, or cushions to sit on. So just get those things so that you're ready, and then we're just going to sit for a couple of minutes or so just to ground ourselves a little bit, because when you're a carer you can have a lot of things to do and it can be really hard to stop and actually just take a moment for yourself. So this is us just taking a moment or two for ourselves. So we're just going to close our eyes and just sit comfortably, either with crossed legs, or you could kneel. Or you can even have your legs just stretched out in front of you like that, that's fine. So we'll just sit for a moment or two and just feel our weight dropping down onto our cushions or blocks or the floor. And just see if you can feel your body, start to feel into the body. You might notice tight places. You might notice some energy. And see if you can take the awareness right down to your feet, and where any part of your feet is in contact with the ground. And then see if you can start to connect with your breath. Just noticing your inhale and your exhale. Again, when we're caring for others, when we're looking out for other people, we can forget to look after ourselves sometimes, and that can include even remembering to fully breathe. So just use these few moments to really breathe fully, letting the inhale come in and the exhale go out. And just following a few breaths. And start to feel your awareness, your energy grounding through the breath. It's as if the breath is like this weight or anchor that anchors you in the present, helps the mind come a bit more into the body, and see if you can really feel the breath. Feel the sensations. Feel the body moving as you breathe. And we're going to do some yoga poses in a minute, and we're going to really try and keep this sense of connection with the ground, connection with our body. And we're going to do some things to start to wake our energy up and hopefully stimulate some more energy. So if you're feeling a bit tired, you've been doing a lot today, then this will hopefully help. So when you're ready, opening your eyes, And then you can come off whatever you were sitting on, and if you've got a blanket, as I said, you can be on that, or you can bring the hands onto the floor. So you want the blanket mainly for your knees really. And see if you can press the tops of the feet down, spread your fingers, and just check the wrists are roughly under your shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And just have the back neutral for now, and look down at your mat or the floor. Feel your hands on the floor, your feet, tops of the feet. Feel the breath. And then on the next inhale, we're going to lift our chest a little bit and lift our sitting bones. And the arms will straighten and press into the ground. And then on the exhale, we're going to round the back and press a little bit more into the ground to lift the back up. So we're stretching and lengthening the back here. And as we inhale, we're stretching and lengthening the front of the body, so the chest lifts, the sitting bones lift. And then on the exhale again, we round the body. So just do a few of these two movements, really letting your breath lead the way and feeling your back starting to wake up. You're waking up the spine, you're bringing some stretching into that area, and you're also bringing your awareness a bit more into the back. So just doing a few more of these with your own breath. And keep coming back to the body in connection with the ground and your breath. So last one. And then coming back to neutral. And then on the next inhale, we're going to lift one of our arms. So we're going to lift the right arm up and forward, stretching the hand. And then on the exhale, we're going to bring it down. And then we're going to bring the left up, stretching, and then bringing it down. So just doing 3 of these on each side, inhaling the right arm up, looking forward, exhaling it down, inhaling, lifting the left, exhaling it down, keeping the hips above the knees, inhaling and exhaling down, inhaling left up and coming down. Now we're going to do our legs. So we've done our arms, we can do our legs now. So on the inhale, lift the right leg back, stretching the heel back. You don't have to lift it too high, just stretching it back on the inhale. And then as we exhale, see if you can bring the knee forward to your chest and curl a little bit. And then inhaling, stretching that leg back, exhaling, curling it in. And keep spreading the fingers. And then last time, inhaling back, exhaling, curling in, and then bring the knee down. Take a moment to just re-establish your base, making sure your fingers are spread, knees about hip width apart, and then we'll do the left leg, so stretching the left toes back, pointing the toes down, stretching the heel if you can, and just looking back and checking that that leg's in line with the hip. And then exhaling, rounding your spine, drawing the knee towards your forehead and forehead towards the knee. Inhale, stretch back. Exhale, curl in. Last one, inhaling and exhaling. Great, and then come back. Well done. And now we're going to try doing both together. So we're going to lift the opposite arm and leg together, if we can. So we're going to lift the right arm and the left leg back. So see if you can find some stability here, lifting that arm, that leg, and just gently zip up the abdominals. So just a light engagement through your core so that you can do this pose and you can stay here. And then exhale, see if you can round elbow to knee. Inhaling, lengthen, exhale, round. So let's see if we can do 5 of these. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Last one, inhaling and exhaling. Well done, great. And then just rock a little bit from side to side, finding your base again, connecting with your breath. And then we're going to do the other side. So left arm this time reaches forward, and then right leg reaches back. So just stabilise through the right hand and the left knee and the left top of the foot. And then exhale, elbow to knee and curl. Inhale, reach forward with the hand back with the heel. And then exhale, curl. 3 more, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Last one, inhale and exhale. Great, well done. And then bring your hands back to the ground. Just maybe move a little bit from side to side, just easing out the legs and the hips. And then we're going to come into a really soft downward dog. So we're going to tuck our toes like I'm doing, and then make sure your hands are on the ground and let your blanket be under your knees, and take your feet off the blanket if you've got a blanket, so they're on the floor and so that you don't slide basically. And then bring the hips back and lift up and come onto the balls of the feet and see if you can really bend the knees a little bit here and let your head drop. So bend the knees and press the hands down. And you can look forward and just check where your hands are, and you might need to widen them a little bit. You can also look at your feet. But really you want the gaze, if you can, to start to look towards the belly. So looking back and down. I'm just going to take my top off because I'm realising my voice will get muffled. So staying in the downward dog, you're doing great. Bending the knees, straightening out, stretching out the backs of the legs. Really, really good. Really press the base of the index finger down and lengthen through the back. And then just gently move your head a little bit so that you can lengthen your neck. And if you find this really tiring after a few breaths, then just bring the knees down for a moment and let yourself come back into child's pose. If you want to stay up for a bit longer, just staying up here for a little bit longer, pressing the hands into the ground, the feet, and pressing the feet and hands away from each other. 2 more breaths. And then you can straighten your legs a little bit more. Maybe the heels move a bit more back to the ground. But don't worry if they don't. And then bend the knees again and come down into a child's pose. So just coming back, letting the hips, the pelvis drop back. And if child's pose is really difficult for you to bring the buttocks back onto the heels, then you could just lie on your back and just hug your knees towards your chest. And just let the back land on the mat, grounding yourself again in awareness, grounding yourself with the breath. So that's the other option, but if you can do the child's pose, then doing that. Two more breaths. And then coming back onto all fours. I'm going to again just come into the downward dog, but we're just going to be here for a few breaths and then we're going to walk our feet forward. Okay, so lifting the hips up and back. 3 breaths. And then walking your feet forward between your hands. And just rest your hands on your shins for now and bend the knees a little bit. And then see if you can just lift halfway. So lift the chest a little and then fold in. And then slowly just let your hands and arms be really heavy. Press the feet into the ground and slowly start to uncurl your back. So you're coming up really, really slowly, head last of all. Great, well done. Okay, so we're going to do a few more things just to energise ourselves. So we're going to do some hip circles. So spread the feet to about hip width apart, okay, and bring the hands onto the hips. And then we're going to bend the knees a little bit and start to circle the hips. So this is a nice way of just opening the hips, and you probably all have done this kind of thing when you go dancing. So it's a bit like that, but it's just really lubricating our hips. It's like oiling them really, because the hips can get a bit tight, so there might be a bit of cracking going on, and that's fine. So just a few of these going in both directions. Great. Keep the awareness in the feet and in these circles so that you're really present and you draw the energy from the earth. Well done. Great, and then back to standing tall. And then we're going to lift our arms. So on the inhale, we're going to lift up with the arms, reach up, bring the hands together, and then exhale, bring them down to the heart. So we're going to do a few of these, get the arms working. So inhaling, stretching up, exhaling, bring the hands down. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's do one more. Really reach the fingers out wide and then up tall. Hold it there for a few breaths, hands together, so you can straighten your legs and arms. Press the feet into the ground. Try not to stick the ribs out. Try and knit these lower ribs together if you can. One more breath. Great. And then hands to the heart. So we're going to do that again, but this time we're going to try and touch the ground as well. So when we've reached up with our hands, we're then going to bring the hands down and start to bend our knees and touch the ground. And then sweep the arms up, straightening the legs, and then coming all the way down again. So we're going to do that 5 times. So 3 more times, reaching up and coming all the way down, touching the ground. Well done. Reaching up and coming all the way down, touching the ground. Last one. Reaching up and coming all the way down, touching the ground, and then coming up, hands to the heart. Great, so I bet you can feel your arms now, which is good. Okay, so next we're going to do some more standing and a little bit of downward dog again, but we're going to do a sun salutation. So on the inhale, we're going to reach up, bring the hands together, exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, hands come onto the ground, see if you can halfway lift the chest. And then exhale, bring your hands down and step your right leg back and then your left leg. And coming into the downward dog here. And then see if you can bring your knees down to the ground. And then we're going to lower ourselves down by bending our elbows and lowering the chest and coming down low onto the ground. And then lifting up. And then see if you can stay low, so coming onto your knees and sweep your hands back, so slide them along the mat to come near to your hips. And then either just kneeling up, staying like this, or if you can, you could bring the hands down and just lift the hips a little bit. You don't have to lift very high, just lift them up. Or if that's too hard, just staying like this. And then slide the hands down the mat again, letting your chest follow. And then lowering yourself, scooping low onto the mat, lifting up, shoulders come back, head comes down, and then back onto all fours. Slide your hands all the way back, either leaving them like this or pressing the hands, fingers into the ground and lifting the hips up, lifting the chest. And then slowly sliding the hands forward again. Bringing the chest forward between the hands, bending the elbows, scooping down, lifting up, letting the shoulders come down the back. And then again, pressing up through the hands, letting the arms slide all the way back. And then again, lifting up. Let's do this one more time. Letting the hands slide. Bringing the chest forward, lowering ourselves down, lifting the chest up, waving down so the forehead touches the ground, pressing through the arms to come up, and then slide the hands all the way back, and either resting them by the hips or last time lift the hips, and then release. And then again, coming into either child's pose, so stretching the hands forward, buttocks onto the heels, or remember that you can come onto your back and you can just hug the knees towards the chest and just feel the body, feel any energy in your body. Feel any energy that the yoga has stimulated or woken up. And then if you're in the child's pose, walking the hands back now, and if you're lying on your back, just rolling over to the side and coming up from there to a kneeling pose like I'm doing now. And then we're going to come up to standing, so standing up. And we're going to come into a warrior pose. So I think all of the carers are real warriors and warrioresses looking after people over many, many years. So these poses called warrior can really help us to draw up more energy from the earth. So we're going to bring our right foot forward, really spread the toes, and then step back with our left foot. And see if you can turn the left toes in a little bit and maybe walk these right toes out a bit. Let the knee bend, but just check that it doesn't overshoot your ankle. You want it to be a little bit behind or above the ankle. And if possible, going out to the little toe side of the foot. So just standing in this shape of a warrior with our feet and really pressing our feet down, spreading our toes. And then we're going to bring the hands onto the heart for a moment. So just connecting with the heart. And then let your arms spread out, lengthening the fingers, stretching the arms, and looking along the middle finger of the front hand. If your arms get a bit tired at any point, you can just bring them onto the hips. But if you can, hold them up for a little while and just breathe. Ground yourself, draw energy from the earth. Let the pelvis drop. So it's like you've got this plumb line going down. 2 breaths. Great. And then bring the hands onto the hips, and we're going to take a step forward, bringing the left foot to join the right foot. And then we're going to reach up and take a little stretch. So take hold of your right wrist with your left hand and just stretch over to the side. Great. And then take left wrist with right hand, stretch over to the right. Great. And then we're going to do the other side. So we're going to step the left foot forward this time and step your right foot back. Bend the left knee. Let that knee travel out towards the little toe side. Turning the back foot in a little bit. Bring the hands onto the heart. And then let the arms radiate out. And look along that middle finger. And keep breathing, softening the face, smiling. One more breath. Great. And then bring the hands down onto the hips. Bend that front leg a little bit more, and then see if you can step forward with the right foot. And we'll do that little stretch again. So this time, lifting up, bringing the right hand onto the left wrist, stretching to the right, and then right arm taken by the left hand and stretching over to the left. Great, and so if you can breathe into this stretch, keeping the feet grounded. Well done. And then back to centre. And then let's bring our hands all the way down to the heart. Okay, and then we're going to come back to doing a few more of these hip circles. So bending the knees, maybe spreading the feet out a little bit, and just bringing some movement into your hips again. A few times going round in one direction and then round in the other direction. Great. And then we're just going to swing our arms a little bit. So holding the arms out and then just let them swing and just give yourself a little pat. This is a nice way of bringing some energy into the body, and it's also a nice way of twisting, keeping our pelvis and our hips stable, just turning the torso, and just giving ourselves a little pat. Great. And then coming to stillness. Take a moment to just stand wherever you are. Maybe bring the feet in a little bit. Close your eyes and just notice the energy in the body. Notice the ground beneath you. And then slowly open your eyes, and hopefully you're ready to do whatever you've got to do next with some energy. Okay, so that's it for the Energising grounding class. See you soon.